Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Rooted Word. My name is Susan, for those of you who don't know me. And I just wanted to come very quickly for a short one. This is going to be very short because I think the other one took so long. But I wanted to give you examples about what I was talking about, perception and vision. For those of you who weren't here, please look at the previous video so that you can catch up with us. So I just wanted, going to look at my book here because I wrote the verses down. And I ended up with Isaiah 43 verse 19, when God says, I'm doing a new thing. Can you perceive it? Can you perceive it? And I wanted to go back to Abraham, because Abraham was the first person who God listened to. And in the first instance of him talking with God, he's told to leave his parents' house. He's told he'll go to a place where God is going to show him. And so he moves in faith. Okay, he walks in faith. And then now here we come to a point where he's being, after he disconnects himself with Lot and disassociates himself with Lot. Lot goes and stays next to Sodom and Gomorrah, and he had picked that place because when he looked at it, it looked green. Yeah, but when you read that story, it says Lot looked and saw that that area was fertile because it looked green. All right. And immediately when Abraham disconnected himself with Lot, this is what happens in Genesis 13. From verse 14 to 15. That's when God tells him, okay, come and look as far as your eyes can see, from the north, south, east, west. Yeah, that will be yours. Okay, that's Genesis 13. But now today, I just wanted to give us a little bit of oomph as we plan, as we think and plan with wisdom for the future. Yeah, because we're lacking no good thing. So Genesis 15 verse 5, listen to this. It says, then he, God, brought him, Abraham, outside and said, look now towards heaven and count the stars, if you are able to number them. So shall your descendants be. And then verse 6 said, and he, Moses, believed in the Lord, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. Remember, there was the time I said God told Abraham to look up. First it was look this way. Then it's look this way. And what I was trying to say in the previous one was sometimes we need to learn to use our spiritual eyes. I think it wasn't that Abraham was not spiritual, but God was helping him to see, to really see. So the first one was the land, and the second one was the descendants. The land, and then the descendants. And even God tells him, count the stars if you're able to number them. If you're able, have you ever really been outside when it's a nice clear night? There are those shiny ones. There are like 3 of them. They always shine so bright. But there are those other ones. There are so many. They are so tiny, and there are so many. Some so near each other. And even if you start, you'll forget where you started. Because when you look up and you see the stars, there are so many. Some look so tiny. Some, they look like many little dots in the black, in a black like backdrop. And those are stars. So I just wanted to encourage each one of us. Yes, let's look like this. It's important. Of course, even when you're driving, they tell you your windscreen is bigger than your rear view mirror. Your rear view mirror is not that big because you're not really supposed to be looking that way. In fact, this verse of Isaiah starts forgetting the former things. That's how it starts. We're supposed to be looking this way. But I think we're supposed to be looking like this, and then we're supposed to also look that way. Because this way, we are going to have a bit of a challenge. But that way, we are not going to have a challenge. Yeah? And so I would like us to try and really look at our lives and just declare that we are going to perceive what God is doing before December comes to a close. that we are going to perceive the move of God. We are going to be able to answer that question when he says, he's doing a new thing. You say, yes, I'm with you. When that newness comes, when the things that he's doing, making a way in the wilderness and giving you streams of water to sustain you, he's providing for you, that you cannot lack anything. But it also depends on how do you see? What do you see? Okay? I don't want to even enter dreams, because the other day I realized some people don't dream. I didn't know that. I just assumed that we all go to bed. Me, I go to bed and I dream. I fall asleep depending on my day sometimes. Sometimes it's about my day. Sometimes it's mixed, my day and other things. But I cannot say that I don't dream. I dream. You know, I have dreams. Some are so vivid, some are so real, you know. Some are just, you know, neither here nor there. But I dream. And my friend the other day, I was asking her, I was like, oh, how are your dreams like? And she's like, I'm like, yeah, do you see color? Do you see this? Do you see, you know, fruits and all sorts of... She's like, may I just sleep? I dream once in maybe a year or 6 months or something. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, I just sleep. I say, you just go to bed and you wake up in the morning. She's like, yeah. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah. I didn't know that, you know. But also dreams, God talks to us. We're supposed to be able to perceive, to understand, to get insight and understanding. Not just through the day when we're using our eyes, but also at night when he's coming to give us secrets and coming to talk to us. Now that one is on another level. We shall enter that another time, because I don't feel comfortable enough to talk about that perception or that insight, but it is there. It is there. God speaks to us also and shows us in dreams. That's another way. So if you are one of those who dream, I would suggest that you also get to asking the Lord, what do your dreams mean? Because there's meaning. Sometimes it's as clear as day. It can be a preview. You know what we call it? Sometimes we call it, I've had those instances, deja vu. You know, those things used to spook me out. I don't want to go off topic, but you guys, there were times I used to be like, I know I've been here. And I look around and I can tell for a fact, like 150%, like I don't understand. It's like replay. And I'm like, why? And for me, sometimes I'll be like, why are we here again? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? We've not been here. And I'll be like, no, I know, we've been. I've been. And then now I'm like, and you know what? That door is going to open and that person is going to talk and something's going to break. And sometimes it just be like, boom, boom, boom. And it used to freak me out. Sometimes it would happen that way. Sometimes it just be like, I enter in a place and I'm like, I've been here before. You know, that's why I said the dreams can be very vivid, very, very vivid. And then sometimes it's just that you remember later, you're like, wait, hold up, this happened. I remember now. You know, it's an after fact that like, no wonder. I was like, why? You know? So anyway, what am I trying to say? You cannot lack any good thing from the Lord, because the Lord always shows us what he's doing. He's always speaking to us. He's always telling us that his word is true and he's faithful to his word. I am sticking on you shall lack no good thing. You shall lack no good thing. You shall lack no good thing. But there's a process, a way to, I believe, to make sure that we don't lack in any goodness of the Lord, yeah? So I hope this has been insightful. Once again, I hope, please share with me, do you get deja vu? You know, what you say, what you hear, what you see, how you speak is very important. So I'm just trying to make sure that I think this is it. I don't think we're going to continue on this particular not lacking, but I just was like, I wanted to share because I have seen a lot of people complain. I have seen a lot of people get help or be helped and complain. And so they go back into, even me, I may just use myself. There was a time I was really complaining, you know, I wasn't grateful. Or maybe we should talk about gratitude and thanksgiving, you know, in the next one. But anywho, God was doing a new thing, but I wasn't perceiving it because I was now getting irritated, maybe because it wasn't going the way I thought it should go or the way I wanted it to go. But things were working, maybe not as fast, maybe not as much, all the things. So, I got into like, oh, why this? Oh, why that? Oh, why? Instead of, oh my goodness, thank you. In as much as I would have loved this, I'm happy for this, and this shows me God hears me. God listens to me. God has heard my prayer, and it's only a matter of time. God never just gives you enough. He gives you overflow. He gives you more than enough. And that became my thing. Yeah. And so there was a season and a period where it wasn't working, but it wasn't working because I was talking really nonsense and I wasn't watching what I was speaking, what I was watching, and what I was hearing. Yes. So I hope this has been something interesting. Once again, we are lacking. By now we should know this, yeah? We lack no good thing in 2025. Amen. Amen. So this is it. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, please comment. Do you have deja vu? Do you know what deja vu is? For those of you who know what deja vu is in English, because I believe that's a French word, kindly write it for me. I don't know how to explain it in English. Bye, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Bye-bye.